All right, welcome to Stateless Implementers Call 26. Starting off the agenda with the usual team updates. If anyone has anything they'd like to share.
I'll
can
share
start.
that. No, sorry. I was just going to say I'll share that the document should be accessible to anybody with the link.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can start with the updates. So I've been working on adding new tests in the execution spec tests. For Burkle, these are around 30 new tests that mostly try to cover many border cases regarding out-of-gas execution of transactions. So the reason this is relevant for Burkle is that now whenever you run a transaction and you run out of gas, whenever you add things to the witness, you might generate a partial witness compared to a successful transaction. And this partial witness makes the order in which you implement. If your EL client incorrectly implements the witness addition in the wrong place compared to other logic, this is now observable. So yeah, I basically try to cover every place of all the potential places where you can run out of gas for adding things to the witness. So this would make the created witness somewhat weird. And yeah, whenever clients execute the fixture, we will see if everyone agrees in the ordering in which they added the logic. So I will share in the chat the link to the latest release. So I would say that anyone that wants to join DevNet 7 is invited to run these fixtures. Yeah, that's mostly it.
I think I can go next. So we spent most of the time testing and debugging those Hive tests that Ignacio generated. And except for that, we are progressing on our implementation of the transition. It requires kind of a huge refactor in the client, so that's why it's taking a bit longer. But yeah, that's it.
Are we doing the client updates?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Sorry, I came in late. So yeah, on the we're working on the gas costs, and we're missing two remaining tests that are failing regarding self-destruct, and we have all of the block hash tests failing because the logic for pulling out the block hash from the contract, the system contract, is still not implemented. So we haven't implemented the gas cost there yet as well, but that will be the next step. Regarding Karim gave me his update. He couldn't join the call today. He says that he has integrated the first optimization for Kev's Rust Verkle library. But is waiting for other API additions to get all the optimizations in. He also has a version of the FlatDB based on STEM that works, and is now working on to generate the pre-image to be able to run this FlatDB with the mainnet blocks and compare the performances. The next step is to generate blocks and he has to check with Thomas to advance on this subject. It also worth noting that we're still working on integrating Constantine into Bezo in the background. Yeah, so that's I think the update. I don't have anything else. Oh, and big good shout out to Ignacio for helping out on the gas costs. To publicly thank him for his patience and support. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, mostly the work has been around getting the testnet to work, but I've also been working on speeding up witness generation, still ongoing, and also, yeah, the rebase on top of Cancun so that we can try to try to get the the rebase and be able to get better numbers compared to those I'm going to show later. Yeah.
Did we get everybody? Anybody else have updates? Alrighty, we can keep going. Next up, we have on the agenda an update on, or not an update, but a just a bit of info on a seminar on Circle Starks.
Yeah, I guess I can take it, but Guillaume, maybe you want to say something?
Maybe we should also do an intro on Matan as well, since it's his first Stateless Implementers call.
Who are you again? No, just kidding. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I would like Matan maybe to explain what the seminar is going to be about, but we are in the process of hiring Matan, who is a mathematician. I mean, I assume Matan will make a quick intro about himself, because there's a lot of talks about Starks and either starking, snarking Verkle or skipping Verkle altogether to do some fancy snarking stuff. So in a way, as a way to prepare for the next items on the Verge roadmap, I figured it would be a good idea to run some seminars, and Matan is going to tackle this. So those would be seminars, I mean, a priori reserved to people working on Stateless, so they're open to everybody in this call, basically. If there's not a lot of demand, if there's some free capacity, we can look into adding people who are not working on Verkle or Stateless in general. But yeah, I would like to see what the attendance is like. And I'm sorry, Matan, I'm kind of speaking for you, but I took the liberty of creating this form. It's my first Google form, so I hope it's gonna work. I just copy pasted the link in the chat. If you could please register there so that we can assess how many people are interested in joining and when they would be available. And then, yeah, we can see how many people we would have and how many more people we can invite. Yeah, so I talk too much. Matan, why don't you introduce yourself? You're muted.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm Matan. I spent most of my adult life in academia, in doing mathematics. Specifically, I worked in a field called algebraic topology, where I did a PhD and 6 years of postdoc. And then 3 years ago, I started working in blockchain companies, first in Aragon, and then later in the EF, in PSE specifically. And I did some research, and I'm still doing some research in zero knowledge and FHE. And the other main effort I did was a course on elliptic curves that maybe some of you heard of. And basically, what I discussed with Guillaume is trying to do a seminar on circle Starks that is similar in spirit to what we had with elliptic curves. So the idea is to make the material accessible for the layman, and so you don't need to have any math background beyond high school, let's say. But the other side of it is that we will need quite some time to catch up with the notions. So I would suggest a weekly 2-hour seminar, like a 10 minutes break after an hour. I sent a link to my website, so you can see in the publications the write-up I did for 2 seminars I ran, one on elliptic curves that became a book, and the other is lattices. And I plan to do something similar on Stark. So eventually there should be a document that would be weekly updated with all the material and so on. And what I usually do is, I guess, let me try to find the link to the elliptic curve course, and then you can see roughly the format. I write on a tablet and I share the screen, and I try to do almost everything rigorously. That is with proofs and full definitions and so on. We'll see how it goes with the Stark paper, but I think at least, from what I looked at, the first 2 sections should be doable rigorously and quite easily. And of course, I'm open to suggestions on which approach is preferable for you guys. Yeah, so I guess that's it for now.
Thank you. It seems that people cannot log into the form except those people working at the EF. Yeah, this is my first Google form. I have no idea how this stuff works. I've been looking for the link to like the check mark to say everybody could answer. If it doesn't work, okay, yes, I'll try to get to make Josh an editor if I find how to do this. Otherwise, we'll create another form and share it on the Verkle Discord thing. Yeah, I'll keep working on this in the background. We can close this.
Awesome. Thanks, Matan. Excited for this seminar to kick off. Okay, up next on the agenda, Guillaume kindly put together a page with updated Verkle metrics. Guillaume, did you want to walk through anything there?
Yeah, just briefly. So it hasn't been published yet. All right, we need to add it to Verkle.info. But if I can find, I have too many windows open as always. If I can find the right page, I should be able to share my screen and walk you through it. Always. Okay. Maybe I should not be such a Google Meet fan. Oh, I cannot present. Is that because like maybe I don't have the right to present, Josh?
You should. Give me 1 second.
Otherwise, you can just maybe share your screen if it's getting too complicated.
Yeah, it says you should be able to share. 1 second.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, looks like I can now. Can anybody?
Perfect. Yep, it's working.
Okay. Great. So, yeah, so I have a lot more in the pipe, but I started sharing some things. And some like results or some measurements I've been doing, and it's historical data. Wait, I have something that's currently blocking me. No, cancel. Okay, now I can see properly. Right. So what was happening is that I have a database at Chapela height because Geth hasn't been rebased. Verco hasn't been rebased on Cancun yet. It's an ongoing project. But nonetheless, it's recent enough that we can start collecting some data. So this page should be published on verco.info and share some measurements we've got. So like it's explained on the page, it's at the Shanghai fork. It's replaying 200,000 historical blocks. It goes through the transition. And yeah, like for example, we looked at how to have the best witness size. So this is something I already presented in an old Vercol call, Vercol implementers call. So you can see the three new proposals for the witness format, and which the one that's the most interesting or the most efficient. You can see the amount of like the size of the average size of the witness, or the minimum and the maximum we see replaying historical blocks. There are more things since the last time I presented those results. For example, there's how much of the witness is composed of what. So for example, the keys, it's on average 13%. The Verco proof is on average taking 12% of the witness, witness plus proof, and then the pre-values take the bulk of the size, and the post values are actually not taking that much space most of the time. There are some pathological cases, but mostly it's taking pretty much nothing. And so we have some nodes. We should like the main conclusion is that we should change the format of the witness for the next call. Sorry, for the next DevNet, not this one, not this upcoming one. And then post values are not taking too much space, but yeah, it's not really useful either. So I think we should dump this as well. But yeah, that's one of the conclusions. So I looked at the database after doing a conversion. So you can see, for example, that most of the tree, like 80% of the nodes, are at depth 4, which is exactly what we were hoping for. So that's good. But there's almost 20% like of the node, like most of the remaining nodes are actually at depth 5. And then you have a few excuse me. So these are I should have specified this. I will fix the wording after this call. But we're talking about leaf nodes, right? Not internal nodes. So yeah, most of them are at depth 4. Some of them are at depth 5. There's a few pathological cases that go all the way to 8. But overall, this is what we expect, like 4 to 5. As like a depth of 4 or depth of 5, it's not too bad. I still have some processing going on, so I have more data to share. So this page will be updated. but yeah, currently I just wanted to bring your attention to this so you can have a look. You can ask questions. It's going to be updated in the next few weeks. So yeah, check back from time to time. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, yeah, I will just update and notify when there is an update. Yep, that's it.
Cool. All right. Next up on the agenda, we have some spec updates. Ian, I guess maybe that's a continuation for you.
Yeah, is it? Actually, I was thinking, yeah, so Luis would have some some comments. Luis or Tanish? Yeah, so there, okay, just to provide an intro, it was just a some conversations as we were doing like using the testing framework. So some questions did arise, and there were two. One of them I can address. We had a call, a non-public call last week among core devs or people working on this topic, interested in this topic, and excuse me, we were thinking, should some contract creation costs be covered by the contract creation cost. So the contract used to be 32,000, right? And the question was it simply replaced with excuse me, I'm yeah, I'm a bit sick. I apologize for all the throat noises. But yeah, the idea was, should we get some costs covered? And I did a bit of math. Sorry, should we get some costs covered by the old cost, right? And my conclusion is that no, we should not. But I was trying to see if Luis, I think that was Luis and Tanish, could basically summarize their position so that we can come to a decision.
I think I can go. So, what my position was initially, that in the create gas cost, the opcode cost was, like as Kia mentioned, like 32,000, and we reduced it to 1,000 per worker, and now we are charging some other worker costs for the contract creation. And there's this another discussion that happened in Kenya and before that as well, like when should we charge those kind of gas? Like, is it before the 1/164 gas reservation that we have for like the internal call? Should we charge it after deducting that 1/164, or should we deduct these worker costs before that? So my assumption was, since we reduce the opcode cost, which is always deducted before, from 32,000 to 1,000. So my understanding was, maybe we should deduct these worker costs also before that, like 1/64 deduction. And we had the discussion on a call, I think last week, last week. And the conclusion that we ended up is, in like game was trying to explore if that 32,000 cost included the cost for account creation, or it was just for like code insertion. So yeah, basically that's the discussion. Like, should we charge the worker gas cost before that 1/64 deduction or after that? It doesn't make a really big difference, but it does make some kind of a difference on how much gas cost is left for the internal call, and if we deduct it before, if we deduct it afterwards, and things like that.
Right. So thank you for the intro. That's that's a very good explanation. And so yeah, what I wanted to do is to say is, I've done the math, and those 32,000, right? They're not enough to cover the creation per se. So my argument is that because those new vertical gas costs are more than what would have been that what it like. Imagine you didn't have changed those discrete costs. You had not reduced it. You would have still it would still have cost you like the cost that you will incur by creating a contract is much higher than those 32,000. So what I'm saying is you can't really sweep it under the rug. It's just too much. So it's not like it can't be considered as covered. And as a result, I think we should not change the current way of proceeding because, this argument that this would be covered by the old cost no longer holds, basically. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah, then like if that's the case, then I'm like okay with proceeding how we have implemented it right now. Anyways, I prefer the way how we have implemented it right now. It makes more sense. So yeah.
And then, excuse me, that maybe Luis, if you want to talk, introduce your problem.
Yep. Yeah. So what I raised was since we lowered the contract creation from 32,000 to 1,000 for Verkle, right? I noticed that when we are doing account creation, like EOAs, we are still charging 25,000. Which is, it's not even taking into account the witness cost, touch costs. So I was asking whether that was not a bit unfair compared to the contract creation, which is now 1,000, and the EOA creation is 25,000. Of course, I mean, for the contract creation, you also have the cost for storing the contracts in the tree, the code chunks. But at least the simple case, my position was that it looks a bit unproportional. Not sure what you guys have to say about that.
I don't understand. Like, where are we charging the 25,000 for EOA?
So when we're doing a call and the address does not exist yet, for account creation, I think we charge 25,000 additionally.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So my argument is that my argument is that we should not change it simply because it's already there. It was there before. Because when you look at the 21,000 for sending a transaction, right, we cover some of the costs, but those were costs that were already paid for by the 21,000 before Verkle, namely adding, like accessing the code, accessing sorry, not the storage, but the balance, the nonce, etc., etc. But the contract creation gas cost was really distinct. And if you look, so still doing some math, if you look at what it takes to create an EOA, it's way lower than it's something like 7,000. Okay, make it 8,000. So it's much, much lower than creating that discrete cost. So that would be a huge rebate, right? So I think at least we can still have this conversation, maybe with researchers at the Interop in Bangkok. But I think currently we should stick to keep this cost. I understand why you think it's a bit unfair, but at the same time, it's a cost that was already charged before, and it doesn't really correspond to anything new in vertical mode, right? Because the costs are much cheaper. So So my reasoning, at least, I'm not saying it's the correct thing to do, but it's yeah, I would say right now I would rather not remove too much gas, too many gas costs, and we can still take it with the researcher and think about it, brainstorm about it in Bangkok, and decide to change it then. But right now I would like to stick to the status quo.
Yeah, sure, fine with me. Yeah, I would say also let's talk with the researchers. One last thing to note is that the self-destruct is also there's the same kind of charging as well when you're sending the balance to the beneficiary. That's just yeah.
Right, the self-destruct still is, right? Yeah.
It's the same case. Yeah, if the account does not exist, the beneficiary, you also charge the same.
Okay, so we would have to change it into locations.
Into locations, yeah.
Okay.
I think, I'm not sure if this happened or not, but I think we had this discussion before as well. Not sure for self-destruct, but call. And I might be wrong, but I think we came to this conclusion that we don't want to encourage a behavior where someone uses calls to create new accounts. So that's why it's okay if we charge a lot to create a new account when someone does a call to an account that does not exist. I'm not sure if that happened, but I remember something like that being discussed before.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, we want to disincentivize account creation because they can no longer be self-destructed. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, sorry, Josh, I saw you posted a new link. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's cool. I just created a new doc.
Thank you.
Anyone interested in the seminar? There is a link in the chat. Cool. Guess that's it for that topic. The last topic we have for today is any update on testnet. And yeah, I think targeting for this week is the plan as far as I understand it. And just any questions or opening it up to anything here on testnet.
Yeah, I think the reason why we scheduled this is to ask. I think everybody's more or less ready. Maybe not Besu exactly, but they can always join afterwards. I don't know if Barnabas or Pari are here, but it was more like, yeah, are we good to go, and can we just do this? I don't see them.
They're not here. You can always ping them after. I can follow up with them if you want, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no discussion there. We can always end early. I don't know if anyone has thoughts.
Right. Just want to confirm everybody is good to go, or no one wants to hold tested launch for some reason. Okay.
Thumbs up. All right. If nothing else, should we end there?
Yep.
Sounds good. Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Have a nice day.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.